Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 with another Transformers video review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the More Than Meets the Eye Target exclusive Preceptor multipack. Let's get these guys in there. I knew about this back when I actually bought my original Preceptor. But I still wanted to have the original one to compare because I do think Preceptor is kind of cool. And I am glad that I picked them up because there are some differences in this one that I think are important to have a comparison for. But before we get to all that, let's take a quick look at the packaging. I will admit I do kind of like this black and red packaging that they're doing for the Target exclusives. So we do have Autobot Preceptor and Ratbat and Ramhorn. There's their artwork. There is Preceptor on the side. Just more wraparound to that art there. Then not much on the top, just names and labels. We got our legal jargon, and then we have our product shots on the back. We have our little one-line bio and that little screenshot from the movie. So there is the packaging. And oh no, things are going awry off screen. Give me 1 second here. They need to grab those instructions. One of these. There we go. Totally meant to put those aside before I started, but anyway, here's our lovely instructions. As we do. There's that. So, first of all, we'll take a look at these peculiar weapons here that Preceptor is holding. And as I'm sure you can... Stay. As I'm sure you can imagine, these are the little weapon accessories for the cassettes in their robot beast modes. But yeah, the Ramhorn one just sort of folds forward. It's got like this little missile launcher look. And then Ratbat, it's sort of like these dual laser cannon kind of things. So there is those. Put those off to the side for a moment. And we do need to bring in a couple of friends here. So this will also serve as our comparison. So, you know, next to Blaster and Siege Sound Blaster, yeah, because he's the one I keep my other Ratbat in. Go ahead and pop him out. Because yeah, I do have the, I believe it was part of the War for Cybertron trilogy that Ratbat came in, but as you can see, they are the same mold, just with significantly different coloring. But again, you can put them in those little chest cavities there. Flip them around. I know that Sound Blaster is supposed to have room for 2, but just having one in there sometimes gets stuck, so I never want to put 2 in there. But as you can see, he fits in. Pop him back out. And we can actually move you off to the side as I bump the camera. And then for Blaster, we can fit Ramhorn in there. There we go. So they both fit in their respective cassette player transformer partners. I have too much crap on my desk right now. Everything keeps getting knocked over. Move you off to the side. So, let's go ahead and transform these cassettes. So for Ratbat, this one's pretty straightforward. It's not new. We've had a few repaints of this guy, but you fold down the wings, bring them out to the side, fold down the little feetsies here, and then you bring the hinge or the head down on this double hinge, like so. And there you have Rat Bat in his bat mode. And now we can take this. We want to fold this handle up. It's just on some pegs, so they do just turn like so. And then you want to take this little post and flip it out, and then you're just gonna put that through this circular hole in the handle, and there we have him with his cannons on his back. There's that. Now, as for Ramhorn, he is a new mold. So we first want to get this head and flip it out like so, and then we can fold up the little rhino horn. Going to fold these down like so, and then we can bring out his legs. Pretty sure you have to do the back ones first. Hold on. Was it the front ones? Oh, it was the front ones. Hold on. Yeah, you have to open the legs a certain way because they lock together. So and then there is that. And then what we do is we take this and we fold these out to the side like so. And then we are gonna, there's a little notch right here. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, a little notch there, right there. And that is gonna hook under this butt plate. So bring this under and lift it up, plug it under. Then we close these, and these little brown pieces are gonna slide into these slots. Like so, like so. And now he's got his little rockets and his little rhino tail. And as far as a cassette, he does feel kind of bulky. So there is Ramhorn in his rhino mode. And they are pretty nice, and I really do like the new Ramhorn mold. I cannot talk today. It is a nice little transformation, and again, he does feel really chunky for a cassette, honestly. And again, it is nice that they fit into the, Soundwave and Blaster and their associated repaints. And we'll do a little comparison. Here is Rat Bat with the other Rat Bat, and here is Rewind. Pretty sure that one's Rewind. So there are some cassette comparisons, and we'll do one more. I do have G1 Ramhorn here. Not sure if he'll stand up for me. Hooray! So just a comparison there. I don't have a G1 Rat Bat, so unfortunately I can't do that one, but there are, taking the wrong ones away. We'll go ahead and set these guys off to the side now, since we've talked about them. Now let's talk about the preceptor. I'll go ahead and take his gun and put it in his hand, since he's got the room now. So there are a few differences with this one from the original release. One of the more notable ones is that he does have a remolded chest, and he also does not have any more clear plastic, which I am a fan of because I've had plenty of clear plastic breakages over the last year and a half since I started collecting again. So anytime there is absence of clear plastic, I'm happy about it. We'll go ahead and bring in the original version, and you can sort of see how his chest sticks out past the edges of his little chest piece here. Here it lines up pretty much perfectly, and here there's a little extra. And if we turn them around, he does actually have a cover on his back now, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring in our G1 preceptor, and you can see it's actually molded after that original toy, which is really cool. We'll get a quick little line up here, just to give you an idea of how they all stand up together. So there is that. And I was about to say something and I forgot. Yep, I don't know what happened. Brain stopped working. Oh, this does have slightly more animation, movie accurate colors. It's more gray than black, slightly darker on the turquoise, but that's not too big of a deal, but it does look nice. It also has a gray face instead of silver, and because there's no clear plastic, you can't see through a microscope. Not that it was like actually working or anything, but just something to note. But yeah, gonna go ahead and sort of rush through the transformation here. Well, I guess I should go over the articulation, even though it is the same, but ball jointed shoulders, so get plenty of movement there, can come that far out. Do get a bicep swivel, do get 90 degrees at the elbow, does have some in on the wrist due to transformation if you want to use that. Do have a hinge here, hinge and hinge, well, hinge and a ratchet actually for the actual microscope. Head is technically on a ball joint, but it is very limited. Half the movement you're seeing there is actually the piece that his head is on actually moving too. Do get pretty far forward at the kick, very far back, over 90 degrees at the knee. Do get a little up and down at the toe. Do get our ankle movement. Do have full 360 at the waist. And if you want, there are some extra hinges here, and you can break his legs. So there is that for the articulation. But moving on to transformation. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up this back panel, and we are going to flip in his head. Close that up. We're going to pull his arms down and untab the shoulder pieces. And we're going to fold this up and bring these in, and then tab this into the microscope. Just or unhook that. Fold in those hands, fold in those hands. You're going to come forward here. Wait, actually, want to rotate these around on the ball joints and bring them up and around. And just bring them into the chest. Bring this up and around. Bring these into the chest, like so. I do kind of wish that these like moved in a little more and tapped in, but it's not a huge deal. Alright, so we want to bring our legs up and out, and then break those knees, bring them in, and then fold down the feet, fold down this panel, and then we can bring down that microscope. And there we have Preceptor in his microscope mode. And it's pretty much what you expect. It's pretty similar to the other one. So not too big of a difference there. As far as just a general comparison, here is B127. And so yeah, not too much difference as far as that part goes really. But there are a few things to mention about the actual changes because of like the remolding. And the main one being that due to the remolding, he can't actually, what's the word? He can't do the tank mode anymore. And I will show that here in a second. But since the chest is wider, for the tank mode you would normally bring these over and around and plug them in like this, but because it's wider they don't quite plug in anymore. So you can't actually do the little tank mode thing anymore with this version. So much to the point that it's not even in the instructions. So just be aware that if you do want the third tank mode, and the treads are still there, they didn't remold those or anything. It's just he can't transform the same way because they increased the size of his chest. But we'll do one more comparison. Here he is with a G1 Preceptor. Just but yeah, basically you do miss out on that tank mode due to the remolding, but that wasn't in the movie or anything, so it's not a huge, it's not a huge deal. I do kind of wish you could still do it, but I mean, again, that's kind of why I'm glad I did get the original version, because he could still do that. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's just sort of like, that kind of sucks, whatever. But aside from that, still a very good mold, and I do like the new colors. I mean, I definitely don't dislike the old ones. They did actually tampograph another Autobot symbol here, since this is no longer clear plastic. So there is that. It's kind of funny because it technically should be up here, because if we look at the one with the clear plastic, you can see it's higher up. But yeah, I'm definitely happy to have the Preceptor, and I'm absolutely in love with the little ram horn. Definitely like the little rat bat. I do like that he got the little rockets now. The only downside is that, again, same with what was it, Steeljaw. These obviously can't store in the cassette mode, and obviously they're not going to fit in the chest with that, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But I mean, they didn't do that on the original toys by any means. I think Laserbeak is the only one who's actually had the things built in, the Laserbeak mold. But you know, it is what it is. I'm glad that they made it so these can turn into like a makeshift weapon, so that, you know, the actual robots can hold them. That actually does help quite a bit. So yeah, I'm definitely happy I picked this up, and pretty much anyone who really likes the cassette bots is probably going to want to get these too. That said, it's not like an absolute must-have if you already have the other Preceptor, or you're not really interested in the cassettes themselves. Yeah, I still think it's a really nice pack, and if you get a chance to grab it, I would say pick it up. I certainly don't regret buying it, and I certainly don't regret double dipping on Preceptor due to those mold changes. So there is something to be said about all of that. But overall, yeah, I think I'd just say that I do recommend this little set, and I think that's really all I have to say in particular about these ones. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else to say. So yeah, I'll just leave it at if you are after the cassettes, or you know, missed out on that original Preceptor, this is absolutely worth picking up. And I think I'll end the review there. So this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.